Hey, fourth graders, welcome back. Today we are still learning about time. Our I can statement for today is I can solve practical problems involving time using a number line and a clock. So today you have the choice between a number line or using a clock, whichever one you feel most comfortable with or whichever one suits the problem best for you. Your materials are a pencil, a few sheets of paper, and some scissors. We will be doing a game at the end today, so you need some scissors to cut apart your cards. Today's first problem, I will be using the number line for. Can you use a clock? You sure can. This one I'll be using a number line. My next problem, it'll be a clock. Baseball practice begins at 5:30 p.m. The coach says it will last 2 hours and 45 minutes. It takes 32 minutes to get from the field to home. What time will you arrive at home from practice? So we have our start time. We have some elapsed time, or some time that passes. We have some more elapsed time, and we have to figure out the end time for this problem. So on my number line, I have started with 5:30 p.m. I am going to do my hours first. So I'm going to go ahead 2 hours. So 5:30, 6:30, 7:30 p.m. Now, I could do this two ways. I could do 45 minutes separate from 32 minutes, or I can decide to add 45 minutes plus 32 minutes. So I decided to keep them separate. You can add them, but I thought it was a little bit easier to keep them separate in this problem. So here I have my 45 minutes, and I broke up 45 minutes into 30 minutes and 15 minutes. So here I said, well, from 7:30, 30 minutes is 8 o'clock p.m. And then 15 minutes after that gave me 8:15 p.m. And that was just a little bit easier for me to break it up that way because it got me to the hour, and then a little bit easier to add that 15 minutes onto that. All right, so now I'm tackling the 32 minutes, the second part. So from here I have 8:15, 30 minutes is 8:45, and then I still have my 2 minutes to take me to 8:47 p.m. So could you have done your minutes first? Absolutely. Many different ways you can break this problem apart. This is how I chose to do it. It is not the only way. Our answer, you will arrive home from practice at 8:47 p.m. All right, our next problem, I'm using a clock for this one. Your class has a field trip to the Science Museum. It is a 2 hour and 15-minute bus ride from the school to the museum. The first tour starts at 9:30 a.m. What time should we leave the school to arrive for the first tour? All right, so the tour starts at 9:30 a.m. To me, that sounds like a start time, but when I read through the problem, it is a 2 hour and 15-minute bus ride. The first tour starts at 9:30. What time should we leave the school to arrive for the first tour? So it sounds like the tour is the end of our problem, and we have to figure out what time we have to leave to get there by 9:30. So this is actually the end time. We have our elapsed time, and we have to go backwards in time to figure out our start time. All right, so for this one, I'm going to look at the minutes first. So for this one, 9:30, I might count backwards 15 minutes first. So 5, 10, 15 takes me to 9:15. All right, so then I'm going to attack the hours. So 9:15, 8:15, 7:15. There's my 2 hours. So my answer, we should leave the school at 7:15 a.m. And for me, when we have these problems where we have to count backwards, I think using the clocks is helpful. I like to use the clock to count, to do those backwards ones where we have the end time and we're counting back in time. All right, now it's your turn for a problem. So you can decide number line or clock, which one makes sense for you. Your dad promised that he would take you to the trampoline park if you got all A's and B's on your report card. He says he can take you Saturday, but he has to be home by 4 p.m. You want to leave at 12:30 p.m. It will take 12 minutes to get there, 12 minutes to get home. You want to jump for 3 hours. Will your dad be home in time? That's a good one. So this tells us what time you have to be home by. This is what time you're going to start, and then we have 12 minutes there, 12 minutes home, and then 3 minutes there. 3 hours jumping on the trampoline. All right, so will you be home by 4 o'clock? Ooh, I like this one. And I sure hope so because the trampoline park sounds like it would be a lot of fun. All right, so pause the video, solve it. This is the only one. So when you're ready for the answer, go ahead and push play. Now's the time to pause and our answer. So will you be home by 4 o'clock? So if you leave at 12:30 p.m., I just count on those 3 hours first. So I start with my hours, 12:30, 1:30, 2:30, 3:30. Then I decided, well, I could do 12 minutes and 12 minutes. I'm going to add those together. So I said 24 minutes. So I can count on 20 minutes pretty easily. So 3:30, 20 more minutes gives me 3:50. Then I'm going to count 4 minutes after that to give me 3:54 p.m. So as long as you put your shoes on and take your shoes off really quickly, think you'll be home in time. So Dad will be home in time to take you to the trampoline park. So that is very exciting. All right, now we're going to play a game. So each partner has a recording game sheet, and that is the next slide that you can copy on your paper, or you can print it from the resources. Work with your partner. Place the time cards face down. Time cards are going to be coming up soon too. Same thing, you can copy them on your paper with your hand, or you can print them. One person chooses a card from the deck of time cards. Each player records the starting time and ending time in the chart. Individually, determine how many hours passed between the two times. Now record the extra minutes that remain, and that will get you to the ending time. Finally, record the elapsed time on the chart. Remember to use a clock, timeline, or your own strategy to determine the elapsed time. When both people are finished, compare answers. If you both have the same answer, you each get 1 point. If you have different answers, you must work together to figure out who is correct and why. The person who originally got the correct answer gets 2 points. All right, so I'm going to show you an example, and once you see it, it's going to make a little bit more sense. All right, so here's our chart already. I already filled in the first one. So my time card says starting time, 10:18 a.m., ending time, 7:28 p.m. So here is my timeline. I chose to use a number line for this one instead of using the clock. You can use the clock, that is fine too. Today's lesson is pretty much to decide which one you like to use and for which problems you like to use it for. So I'm starting at 10:18. I'm going to count forward 2 hours, 10:18, 11:18, 12:18 p.m. So I switched from 10:18 a.m. to 12:18 p.m. Then I'm not at my end time yet. I have to get to 7:28. So I'm going to count on 7 more hours. So 12:18 p.m., 1:18, 2:18, 3:18, 4:18, 5:18, 6:18, 7:18. So that is 7 more hours. So the first part was how many hours have passed. So 2 hours, 7 hours gives us 9 hours. I'm not going to 8:18 because I want 7:28. I don't want to go past my time. So 7 hours, 2 hours gives me 9 hours. So 7:18, how many minutes do I need to get to 7:28? I need 10 more minutes. So 10 minutes goes in my extra minutes past column. And then I put them together. So 9 hours, 10 minutes is my elapsed time, how much time passes between those two times given. All right, so you're going to fill in your own chart. You and your partner are going to try to get the correct answer. If you are both correct, each one of you will get 1 point. If only one of you is correct, you need to explain how you got your answer, show the other person how your answer is right. They might try to do the same thing. One of you will be correct, hopefully. The person who is correct will get 2 points, and you will play until your chart is filled up or until you're out of cards. Whoever has the most points at the end is the winner. All right, so here is the chart. If you'd like to print it, there is a link to these sheets, and you can print it from there, or you can copy it with your pencil and some paper. So if you need to copy it, push pause, because I'm about to go ahead to the next slide to show the cards. All right, and here are the time cards. So again, you can print them, or you can write the times down on a piece of paper, cut them apart, and then you can start your game. And the last thing we're going to do is we're going to check and make sure that we met our I can statement. So I can solve practical problems involving time using a number line and a clock. So we did one problem using a number line, one problem using a clock, and then you get to decide which one you prefer for which types of problems. And you can pick number line for some and clock for some. You can do all number line, you can do all clock, whichever one is most comfortable and easiest for you to solve those problems. All right, so good luck with your game, and I hope you and your partner have fun and have all the points. All right, good luck.